Well. Hello. I have brushed my hair for you, just for you. Because why not? I am still working on Brackeys Game Jam that started a couple days ago. And I've done a couple of things. So I have set up a project for me that uses Max plugins. So it gives me this main menu, stuff like that. And then other placeholders and plugins. So it's very basic kind of setup. And I've changed the colors a little bit of the fog and whatnot to give it a little bit of an atmosphere that's like lighter and not as good a default. The focus for me is still, focus on the art. So that's what I'm going to do today. But first, I do want to have like at least a little bit of a direction for myself on what art do I need to create, right? So going back to, I've made two other videos where in one I very much struggled into what is it I'm working on. And in the first one, I think I've set up the goals and everything, as I just mentioned, and I think that was a better approach. So yesterday, as I got lost in the brainstorming, today I tried to go through a lot of it and very much cleaned up and just highlighted some of the things I liked. And, they're not still there, but it is giving me some sort of a direction of where my mind is at and what I want to just feel naturally inclined to work on. And it is still something with clones, and I still like it as a dumb name for a game. It is still first person shooter, not necessarily shooter, A/B shooter controller. So, as you've seen, I can just move around in first person like that. So that's achieved. Narratively or lore is you're still the clone, or maybe you're the original. I don't know. It depends what you're doing, I guess. I still like the Mr. Meeseeks from Rick and Morty. Like, that's kind of like a dumb audio line. I don't know if there's going to be audio of that sort, but something in the copy of a copy, like a robot that's actually not a robot, but it's just like this genuine helper, kind of a genie that makes it's annoying, but also trying to do their best. I don't know. There's like something to that character that is overlapping with what I'm doing here, and I do want to retain that as a thought. And then a bunch of other stuff. I'm not going to go through every single one of them, but I think one of them is a bunch of animations that I'm feeling that I want to try. So like shoving, punching, kicking. I had this idea for a pointing emote. So instead of just like a button to point, maybe there is like a little interface I could do. So instead of you having like a circle with here's 8 different emotions that or emotes you can do, it'd be more like a body, and you can like move your mouse on it, and based on where you land, um, and you do like a little gesture around it, maybe that's what the emote is going to be. So you could do like, you kind of drag it to your neck and then do this, and you emote that way. The pointing can be done in a certain way. You can point it yourself. It was an interesting idea, but again, it builds up like a lot of necessities in terms of it's a big system, it's unique, it's new. I don't know how to exactly execute on it, and do I need it for a game that I don't even know what it is, right? I did think about it because I wanted some non-verbal conversation, but if there's no players, I think it's like if it's not a multiplayer, it's single player, I think it kind of loses the beauty of it if you don't have other people reacting to you in a certain way. So I could do something with the robots and like based on their reaction, or like by robots, I mean, I just call robots everything that's AI nowadays. So something with the AI players that are there and they're kind of just standing around and they might react to you based on their emotes. Like that would be a way to communicate. Maybe like I think there is a chaos that could be found in there. It could be kind of fun and smiley where there's this emergent kind of chaos of characters doing this, and it's very much like a big walk where players are doing this to signal what they're doing, and I kind of like that whole animated physical comedy of it. Some of these ideas don't necessarily make sense for if I'm doing like a puzzle game or there, but they felt on their own like interesting concepts to maybe dig deeper into. And so what I like to do as well is sometimes the idea doesn't fit today, but maybe in like a day or two, I'll see it again, right? And I'll be like, oh, now it kind of clicks. Now it makes sense. Now these two things kind of work together. But if something is like completely unnecessary and I keep hitting on it, I keep rereading it, I'm like, this doesn't have to be here anymore, then I take it away. It helps me keep things clean and my mind is kind of focused on the things that matter, right? The one thing I added was paranoia, and I think that's something that's different from just a deduction game where you like being um, taken by the paranoia of everything that's happening. And I think that's what I'm gonna like lean into. I'm not thinking of a horror necessarily, but it does definitely invite that sort of a emotion. So I have to see where like I'd rather have it comedic than dramatic. So I'll see where I'll end up with that. Yeah, the rest is kind of just yeah random thoughts at this point. But the going back to Godot, I think one thing I was thinking about was, and at least I can start doing stuff here. So just gray boxing what I have. I was thinking of this structure where you kind of wake up one morning, right? And maybe you have like a little cabin or something. Maybe it's like your room. Maybe it's like your room and you wake up in your room. It has to be a little bit bigger because we're in FPS. If you don't know, all the rooms in first-person shooters need to be a little bit bigger than they actually are. Because the perspective is a thing, or the frustum is a thing. Do I want to rotate that? Nope. I just want to do this. I don't have doors right now. I don't want to create... It's not that complicated. I don't want to create doors right now. So we're going to do very much what CSG, which is what I'm using as nodes, was meant to be doing. How do you... I always forget how to turn off the gizmos. Oh, it's okay. Just gonna change the camera. Yeah, they don't make it easy in that regard. Okay. So maybe you wake up in your room. So the player really starts here, right? And then let me see if that like is retained. It is. Cool. Can I get through the door? Yes. So I kind of want it. And I think somewhere should be like a mirror. And the reason I want a mirror, maybe it's like on your... I think maybe the door will have like a mirror. Maybe that's what... So the first thing is going to be like you're opening the door. Like it could be a bathroom. I think I want like a little spacey, like a 70s space theme. It's just kind of what I feel like I want to create. It's just kind of where my mind has been lately. The product design and all that stuff. It's just kind of fun. A little plain, but with some extra, what do you call it? Twirls on it. So the reason I want like a mirror on the door is for you to see who you are. So there's a couple of options I could do. Ooh, we're getting into the door problem. The famous door problem. Okay, let's not think about it too hard right now. Because I was already thinking about 27 puzzles. And I don't want to do that now, but I have to find a way to make notes inside. And I know you can just do this. Maybe I'll just use this for now. I'll totally forget that it is a description because it doesn't show up here. Yeah. I just kind of want like a, labeling inside, and I know I can just do a label in 3D like this, but very different from... I guess we're gonna do that, that's fine. Okay, so this is door with mirror, shows your face. And so we're gonna call this door, right? And then if we go into the game, and I know there's a faster way to do that, it kind of does a thing. Okay. I'm gonna drop some of the quality here simply because I'm recording and I'm running 3D and I'm on my MacBook, so not the most convenient setups. Yeah, there's not much more I could turn off at this moment. Let me drop the glow, maybe the shadows too. The fog is kind of making everything actually appear, so cannot really do that. Shadows, I guess, are the thing. Yeah, let's keep it without shadows for now. It's gonna run better, right? Right. Okay. I'd love to just have it at like lower resolution. Okay. So we're gonna have a door with the mirror, and that's gonna tell me this is how you look like, right? And it's important because if we have a game with clones, it's necessary from first-person perspective to know what kind of a, what you are. I don't want to walk out into an open space like this, though. I want to walk into like a corridor, a hallway. So where there's going to be other rooms, basically. So they're going to be closed for now, but I can rename this to door, 1, or like door John. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be like the room name or something. I don't know if I want to place it right here, but there's going to be a bunch of doors. To just make it seem like that's a thing. Okay, we could place the mirror here as well, because the moment you open the door, you kind of see yourself. Oh, I like that more, and I'll tell you why in a second. Because we can just focus on, this is the interaction, it's just a door, you've done it a million times before. And maybe there's going to be like a button to open it, or like a keypad. Yeah, maybe we're going to do key cards. I've never done key cards in my life. Let's do that. Key card terminal. Alright, and it's going to be super small. Oops. Yeah, like that. Okay. Alright, and then we can reuse this. We're just blocking out right now, or I'm blocking out. You're not doing shit. You're watching me instead of making your own game. Why is that? Go make your game. Go make a movie. Write a book. Don't be on socials. Don't be on YouTube. Don't watch this shit. Okay. And I want a mirror here. So we're going to take the terminal 2. And it's going to be a mirror. And I'm trying to be a little bit clean about these because there's going to be a bunch. It's going to be easier to clean up after. Alright. So the mirror is going to be a little bit bigger. And I'll tell you why. Because that's the whole premise here. Okay, so this is going to be a mirror. And it's very big and right in front of your face. So it's very, cannot miss it. And I think it's going to be thin, so it feels like a window, right? And that's the twist. Or is it too, okay. Do I want to deal with this right now? Not really. So you'll walk out, right? You're gonna see this mirror. And it might be too low. There we go. And you're gonna be like, oh, that's me, and you can just move left and right, and like, that's great, that's me. And then you start moving. But then we're gonna replicate it, but that's gonna be an actual window. And maybe we need a bend. So we again like direct the person. Yeah, that's better. So all I'm trying to get to is this moment of, oh, that's me, and then, you know, is exactly why I'm doing another one, because as I'll show you, you know, as I walk through here, I'd see this because I'm forced by the kind of meshes. And I'm not going to do this, right? I'm trying to explore. I'm playing a game because I'm kind of exploring. So I'm not going to do this right away. But I'll see this, like, oh, that's me. And, you know, maybe the door opens, I'm like a little shocked. I'm like, oh, that's me. It's okay. And then I go here, but I can like miss this easily because it's kind of in the corner. But I cannot miss what I'm coming towards, right? And I think the fun part of that could be that that's actually my clone, like playing a prank on me, like by mimicking me, right? And maybe that's going to be like how we first see a clone, like that's an option. The other option was for me to get to a point where there's like a dead body, which is one of my clones. It's not very funny, I guess, right? But I do need to kind of, I think whodunit is just an easiest way to do a clone story, because it's very like on the nose and people kind of know what they're getting. So it lets me do, you know, all this art that I need to do, right? And I can tell like a little short story and people are going to be maybe happy. And me too. So that helps. Okay. So maybe do... Whoop. So instead of a mirror, this is going to be a window with clone behind, and we'll see. Yeah, maybe that's like the way to do it really quickly, where I like see my clone and like I build very quickly a connection to them by being like, oh, that's me, and I move around and like they move around and they help me get inside. So maybe there shouldn't be a door here. And there should be a door here. Yeah, I'm gonna take out the placeholders here because that was a bad idea. Clone, and then let me copy this, put it on. Just so I know what I'm dealing with. Oops, I didn't know it's this far. There we go. Okay. You know, I never know how to get out of this. It's like 5-5. So I've set up the, oh, there we go, middle. Professional game developer right here. Okay. So the clone is this way. Let me do this. Okay. So the clone would be like visible like so. Okay. So maybe we do want to get into like cutting some of this. It's very unclear. I could like just move it right now. Oh, this shows me well that like it's too high up. Yeah, for now let's just do this. So this, I'm gonna say, is not a clone. It's a reflection. And whoop. That's what you would see here. Right? And like this clone like mimics my moves. So I go there and they kind of mimic my moves and it's kind of fun and silly. And then I get around a corner and they're dead. I think that's a good like, oh, it's fun, like this guy is doing what I'm doing. But I still think it's a reflection, but then I get around and it wasn't a reflection, it was okay, there you go, brings a smile, okay. So we're gonna do that, right? Easy. Clone mimics moves. And then I'm gonna have so this is not a clone, this is a reflection, and this is gonna be that clone. You know. Murdered clone, really. I don't know what this is yet. We'll make it something. Okay. That's one way of doing it. Like the other one was just like build some emotional connection to that clone through this wall, and they might be ones that are like helping me to get through. So they're like replicating what I'm doing, but then they start showing like, no, actually you need to do this, and you're like, oh wait, what? That's not a mirror, that's my clone. I think the shock is kind of better here. That like, well, Okay, let's not overthink it. I'll figure this one out later. Let's just say, I mean, they always die, so that doesn't change. It just changes if there's a door that this guy needs to help me with first. Um, or if I just go in. I think it's all the same, right? Yeah. So we would have a door. We could teach the player to look around from their first door. So we don't need this door here. So it doesn't distract the player from this part. Yeah. Well. Alright, let's cut it out. Put it here. And I'm gonna again do the same trick where it's you facing the dead body right away. I think that's kind of more fun than having to do. Let's see how it feels in both cases. So in the first case, it would feel like this, where you go around, you pick up the card, put it there, like, okay, I know how to solve this. Oh, that's a reflection. Or is it me? I don't know. It's a reflection. And then you go here and like, oh, that's another reflection. Oh, it's not. Oh, shit. And I start moving towards the side. And here's the door. And I'm using my card again to get through that door. That teaches me that the key card is usable on multiple doors. I get in, I look around, and I see a dead body. Okay, and this like opened up too much, so I think there would be like, I think this is good enough. I don't need to do another corner. But this would be like more of a room, right? Maybe it's like a canteen. It's like central. So there would be like tables and chairs. Or like a pit. Conversation pit. I don't know. Maybe there's like a screen. And like we're getting now like this bit that maybe there's gonna be like a poster here. We'll figure that one out. But I think you can get there from here. We'll see, depending on what we need in there. Okay. So that's us finding the clone that dies at the start. And now we're like, well, what happened here? Right? And we have a billion options. So let's find what we're doing next. So one thing I'm thinking about in a usual... let me get into the actual game. In a usual game like this... Ooh, that was a weird camera thing. Okay. There's a dead body. Maybe I can, like, examine it. Like, that's something I would probably want to do right away. I'm like, okay, well, that looks like me. Right? And we can do that. Okay, so we need a mirror. Let me jump out and add it in the editor. We need a mirror again. And the reason we need a mirror is... Oh, we're getting very smart with this game. Fuck. I should stop doing smart games, but... which I have not made, but okay. Scratchy mustache. So I'm thinking several things. Like, A, I can reuse this space and basically make it like a two-way mirror, right? So if that clone is not actually seeing me, they wouldn't be able to do the moves I'm doing. And then there's not that effect of... which is fine because they're not helping me to get through, right? So we're not going to build this emotional connection. It's fine. It's just me seeing that character and be like, that looks like me, but they're not moving. And I'm going to be like, that's odd, right? And it doesn't seem like it because as you're nearing, it's in a long hallway. Like, it's going to feel like that's what should be happening, but then you turn and you're like, okay, well, this is not following me, right? And it should be following me. So it's going to be like a weird thing. And then you realize it's actually just a mirror for them, and they were just looking at themselves, right? So this puts us in a position where I can, you know, I have the mirror now here, and so I'm looking at them, and they should have like distinctively similar face to me. I look at myself, I'm like, oh, that's me. And I'm like, that is me. Now I'm wondering as a player, like, well, why is there me on the floor dead? Is it a time loop? Is it a clone thing? And since the game is called something with clones, it's very much revealed. So they're like, okay, well, there's a clone of me. What does that mean, right? They could have like a note on themselves. There could be like a TV on the screen. There could be like a book. There should be like a murder weapon probably. Or I should look for the murder weapon. The other thing is, like, once I get to them, look at myself, then I could have another clone come in, or like show up from behind here. Maybe it's like a sofa. And they're gonna be like, hey, so what happened here? Kind of a dialogue, right? And maybe it's one clone, maybe it's several clones. And they're all like, well, that ain't good. Mayhaps. Mayhaps. Let's try it out. So this one does not mix shit, so I can clean that up before we have it on everything. Right, so they would show up later. So either one, or maybe there's like 3 right away. Maybe they show up one after another. Right. I don't think I'm going to see them in the game. Oh, I do see them in the game. Interesting. Yeah, so, you know, they're not there yet. I start looking. Maybe it's triggered by me collecting something. Maybe, like, there's going to be, like, a poke, and I can poke the body. And when I poke it, the camera is stolen for a little bit. I do a little bit of cutscene of just the guy showing up over there. And then be like, well, what happened here? And he would be super suspect because there's no doors here. So how the hell, you know, in that split second before I walk through this door, and this guy died, right? So there has to be like a door in the middle rather than here, right? Okay, we're definitely doing whodunit story. I'm having too much fun designing it. Dang it. Okay. So let's say there's going to be a door in here. Let's put it like this, and then okay. Oh, now we can get through, huh? Okay. But essentially we want a door kind of around here. Rather than there. So it makes sense when they all show up while I'm looking this way, you know. Because I don't see the door and they can technically walk through. But there's no door in my view here, right? So if the guy shows up behind here, so if the clone is like here, right? I don't know about it. And then they show up and walk over here. And why I'm trying to do that is I want to, like, you know, immediately throw off the player thinking, oh, that guy is the only one that couldn't have shown up, right? So if it's like someone that's like super smart or trying to be super smart, they're gonna immediately think like this clone, like super sus, right? Super suspect guy. It's him. He's the only one that could have done it this quickly, right? But the other clones are gonna be like, well, that doesn't look good for you. And I'll be like, well, I didn't do it, right? I just walked in. And you kind of know it wasn't you. Because you've just kind of talked to them, like you've just been there, right? Oh, I didn't fix the door. Ooh. Come on, editor. Okay. Okay. So they show up. And we need a bunch of people because suspects are a thing. There's probably going to be one more. But this guy, I didn't finish the sentence before. This guy technically is just like sleeping away. So he's not the suspect. He didn't do it. We could also randomize it, who actually did it, and all of them could have done it, but then it's really hard to figure out who actually did it. So let's design for one and then see if I want to do more. Probably not. So we go through, see these guys. They're doing all their thing. And then we get through. And then what happens, right? Like, okay, well, is there a discussion between these guys? Is there just like Spider-Man meme, like you've done it? No, wait, you? Should there be more of a reveal that there's clones? People already know that there's clones in this game, so it's not gonna be like, it's called something with clones, so obviously, you know, maybe it's not everyone, maybe not everyone is a clone. Like, that's another possibility. Maybe there's like a character that is not a clone. You know. And they'd be like, not again. You're gonna be like calling in, and the general is like, does it have to do something with clones again? Eh. Eh. Not very funny. Okay. Well, we're gonna need like a murder weapon. We have the place. We have the victim. We have one suspect, but everyone can be a suspect. And then, so we're missing, you know, a motive. Is that how you said? Motif. And then a murder weapon to tie the three together, right? So why would this clone that we suspect so much, this and this is the same, when I kill this guy, right? And now we have to go into their like quarters or something. Do they have personal space? Do we all share the same quarters? Like that's kind of funny, I guess, that we all would have like not the same quarters, but like there would be like slight differences. So it's like the same room, but it's different. It's like a different like a slightly off for each one of us. So I can just copy paste it in a way. It's kind of a smart way of, I guess, reusing assets. Um, let's see if we can play around with that idea. Let's block this out. Oops, I don't want to do that. I want to do. I'm gonna copy it. So this door is open as well. I don't know if it's gonna have a key card. Maybe that one doesn't. Just so it's not on everything. Don't know. Maybe it's a different door. We'll figure it out. Yeah, that might be one of the like just easy mechanics, right? Like because if I have a keycard, I can get into these doors, but maybe my keycard only works on communal spaces and my own quarters. It doesn't work on all the other quarters. So how would I get into other quarters, right? I don't know. Do we all have like a function? Like one is a doctor, one is like a... What is this? Is this like a communal residential building, or is it like a space station thing? Or like a spaceship thing? I don't know. I don't know. What is the deep lore of this game that I'm going to work on for like 3 days and then I never see it again? Who knows? Okay. Smocking up some of the... Let's do this dirtily. Oh. Let's rename it. All the doors are called John now. So they would be open right now just for me to kind of be able to walk through them, but normally it would be closed. I think they all should open to the left. Maybe a little variety. We'll see. Yeah, maybe there's like a bed in there. Right, it's going to be very similar. And one is bigger than the other, but maybe that's like a slight difference. So there's 4 plus me. Am I the captain? Is it the reason I'm like in this? Maybe this is also quarters. Maybe this was like this guy's quarters. Yeah, maybe we're gonna have like a little kitchen so it's not as flat as well. It's actually two different rooms. Right? Then that would make sense. I'm gonna use your power of deduction to figure out this game. For some reason, I don't like to use a lot of the like top view and stuff like that in Godot. I do use it tons in Blender. I think it's the precision you're after. Like right now, I'm not after one, so it's probably what it is. Working on a thing without a music like a madman. Okay. Yeah, so it makes sense that this would be a window because they should be able to see out while the others don't see in. So it has a mirror, right? But it's cool because it could also make me think that like at the very beginning it is my reflection, but actually it wasn't my reflection, it was the murderer. Like that could be a thing, right? That I have to like arrive at somehow. Okay. So they've got a bat, I don't know, like by the door like crazy people. Okay. I think it creates a little bit more like variety in this. Let's see what we're working with. Yeah. Like it opens it up to more options now, right? Because now that guy could have come in from there while I was not looking. So it kind of removes what I liked before. But maybe that's okay. I like it more this way. Because now if I go in here, I'm like, wait, that's a window. Wait, I can see into my quarters. Wait, was this... Yeah, I think it's a better plot. Okay. There's probably going to be a window here as well. Yep. So there's going to be a mirror here. And then, yeah, there's... I think like a kitchen or something could be here. Maybe it's like a communal space. And then these are more quarters and maybe like... So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and we need 5. At least. Maybe there's going to be 2 more. I grab the key card? No, okay. How does copying work when I do this? Yeah. There we go. Oh, right, okay. To flip this side. No. Ah. Should have grouped it. It's fine. Okay. So let's say there's this many. I think they all deserve to have like a mirror slash window. I'm just going to combine it into one thing. So much for keeping it clean. It's fine. So this needs to be reversed because that's a quarter. Alright, so they should see a mirror. And I said there should be one in here, which we already have. Maybe that one actually is a both-way mirror. Maybe there's gonna be like switchable. Like sometimes it's a mirror, like you know how you can like flip the button and it changes the two-sided mirror or the window into the other direction. Maybe it's one of those. If it doesn't exist, it exists in this world now. Let's keep going. So now we got quarters, right? And we've got enough +1. So there can be one more person for it to make sense. They've got communal space and they've got this. Like, but what are they doing here? Right? Are they just chilling? So there should be some sort of a like work happening, especially work that needs their living. There could be second floor, there could be like whatever. It could be basement. But we're gonna need like, so one thing could be them just having, it could be a residential building. It doesn't have to be super like deep. Maybe they just know each other and like all the clones live together. Is that's like a, yeah, maybe it's like a you know, like sharing an apartment with yourself is kind of the plot here. And like one of them didn't pay rent or something stupid like that. It's not like a deep conspiracy. It's just that. Alright. So we wake up and we're like, look at some of the stuff we have. There's going to be a bunch of stuff like a photo, like a desk, you know, usual clothes, I guess, or like some sort of a clothes. Then you get out, you see your reflection, possibly, maybe not, you don't know, but it behaves as a reflection. Then you go, and it's the clone that like actually doesn't mimic your moves. You use your keycard again, you get in, and you're like, oh no, he's dead. What happened? And then you poke it, and then there's a one clone that shows up, and then it turns the camera for you to the other two, and you're like, oh no, there's a lot of me. And they could be pointing at you. I don't know, are they gonna stand there the whole time? Like, I like the idea of like you walking away and like when the door closes, they shift to a new position, right? Like a very cheap way of not having to animate them walking around and doing their thing. And then you're kind of open to investigate around, so that gives me like a walking simulator sort of a game, I guess, where you investigate what happened here and not save the scene as that is happening. Oh, interesting. That's not. Anyway. So I will visit all of these, and they're going to be slightly different. So it allows me to do 4 rooms because they're all clones. And then, like, I'm trying to figure out, I guess, like, what happened, right? Why am I doing it? Why is no one else doing it? Why not? You're the cop clone? Detective clone? Like, is it a bad thing? Should I just clone myself more? I don't know. Okay, I think I'm gonna go get coffee and think on this off video. Um, and then come back with the progress. But hey, I'm trying to do more streaming or recording of how I make stuff and kind of think through processes. It's a horrible word. Think through making a thing. That's even worse. So, hey, if you found this video randomly and watched it till here, um, thanks. Um, I'm not gonna tell you to leave a like or anything. I don't really care as much, but if you do, cool. If you don't, cool too. I'm just doing this really for myself, and if it helps you, that's great. If it doesn't help you, I'm sorry. You can always quit watching YouTube and do make your own games. And if you did make games, maybe post it in a comment. I'd be curious about that. Bye.